Live in high definition. Always tracking, always watching, always on. This is Region 8 News.
It is 6:30. Welcome back to Good Morning Region 8. I'm so glad you're with us. We're tracking a lot for you this morning. Take a listen to this.
Guys, there is a shooter on the loose.
New details this morning on shootings at Canada's Parliament and a war memorial. Well, the latest developments. Authorities in one Region 8 county investigate a shooting that happened over at a park. We'll have the details. But first, we're talking about these cool temperatures this morning. And man, you're going to need to grab the jacket today.
Grab the jacket, some coffee, you know, some hot tea or some Coke.
Thanks, Justin. Felony warrants issued for 2 people out of Jonesboro. Both people are considered armed and dangerous. So listen up. Right now, Jonesboro police are looking for these 2 guys you see on the screen, Nathaniel Watson and DeAndre Lolo Jones. They're wanted for aggravated residential burglary and felony theft for an incident that happened Monday morning on North Caraway. Another juvenile suspect is already in custody for this incident. If you see these 2, call 911 or call Crime Stoppers at 935-STOP. Police in Pocahontas remain on the hunt for 2 people wanted for drug crimes. According to police, officers were looking for Aaron Dwayne Henson and Melissa Hendershot. Police say that they executed a search warrant on a home on Everett Street last week when they arrested Bobby Martin Jr. for possession of meth. Martin had a bond hearing yesterday morning and was released from jail. But if you know where Aaron Dwayne Henson and Melissa Hendershot are, call police at 870-892-9867. New details to bring you this morning. Authorities learned more about the gunman behind the shootings in Canada that claimed the life of a soldier and then sent lawmakers running for their lives. Symphony, do authorities know more about the motive of the shooter?
Authorities do not know the motive this morning, but they have identified the gunman as Michael Zahoff Babo. Officials say he was born Michael Joseph Hall and underwent a name change after converting to Islam. Law enforcement officials learned Babo had plans to fight overseas, but his passport was revoked. Canada's prime minister says the country will not be intimidated by Wednesday's events.
In fact, this will lead us to strengthen our resolve and redouble our efforts, and those of our national security agencies, to take all necessary steps to identify and counter threats and keep Canada safe here at home.
Babo reportedly shot the soldier in the back while he was guarding the war memorial, and a small memorial was created for that soldier. We'll keep tracking the story, and we'll have another update coming up later in the show.
Thanks, Tiffany. Continuing coverage, Darren Vann, the man allegedly linked to the deaths of 7 women, silent in court yesterday. His refusal to speak to the magistrate landing him in contempt. Vann reportedly confused by the large media presence in the court. He was charged with another count of murder in the death of Unith Jones. Her body found underneath teddy bears and tires in the basement of an abandoned home. Police say Vann was hired to kill Jones by someone who wanted her silenced because of a legal matter. Vann allegedly offered $500 in cash and drugs to solicit Jones for sex online and then strangle her during the encounter. Vann has lived in many different places other than in Indiana. Now authorities in Texas, Illinois, and North Carolina are rechecking their missing persons list and cold cases to see if they could have any connection to Vann. The Pentagon confirms that ISIS was able to seize one of the 28 bundles of weapons and medical supplies dropped to Kurdish forces on Monday. But a spokesperson says the weapons aren't enough to give the group any type of advantage. The weapons were intended to help Kurdish military men battling the group in a Syrian border town. President Obama says his response team is cautiously optimistic about the ability to contain Ebola in the U.S. Speaking Wednesday with his advisors, he gave assurance that hospitals across the country are becoming better prepared to be able to deal with it. President Obama took note of the ongoing recovery of the 2 infected nurses and of others who have been declared Ebola-free after being exposed to the virus. And you have more options than ever for buying tickets for season's major sporting events, but that can also mean more chances of you getting scammed. Karen Caifa has some tips for those fans that are seeking seats. It's in today's Consumer Watch.
The World Series is in full swing. Football season is well underway, and there are plenty of fall concerts and major holiday events just around the corner. The internet has given consumers so many options to buy big tickets. It's not only important to find the best deal, but to find a legitimate seller or reseller who won't leave you outside looking in a few dollars lighter. No matter where you decide to purchase your tickets, the National Consumers League recommends doing it with a credit card for the best protections against possible unfair or unauthorized charges. They also recommend purchasing from sites that guarantee those tickets and will replace or refund if you get the wrong tickets, get invalid tickets, or if an event is canceled. The Better Business Bureau recommends researching the ticket location ahead of time, learning the section, the row, and the seat number so you're not disappointed by an obstructed view or worse, a seat that doesn't even exist. The BBB also recommends avoiding scalpers selling tickets outside of the venue. By then, there's no way to research whether those tickets are the real deal or whether those sellers are scammers. For Consumer Watch, I'm Karen K.
Staples is investigating a possible data breach of customer credit cards. Security experts believe that the crooks were using the same form of malware used in those hacks in Target, Home Depot, and Dairy Queen. Staples announced the investigation Tuesday. The company asked for assistance from law enforcement. The possible breach first reported by a security researcher. Local business leaders in Region 8 listened to a speaker yesterday who knows a thing or two about business. Joe Quinn with Walmart talked to Paragould residents about American-made products and the effect that they have on the workforce.
Well, Walmart is committed right now to purchasing an additional $250 billion worth of goods made in the United States over the course of the next 10 years. We think that this is absolutely critical in towns like Jonesboro and Paragould to bringing jobs back to the United States.
Quinn says that Paragould and Northeast Arkansas business leaders are getting it right. He says that they understand the importance of pulling together local business leaders and educators to discuss workforce development and really how they can improve it. Still to come, sometimes bears need a little retail therapy too, so check this one out. This little cub, he decided he was going to wander into an organ store and surprise shoppers, no doubt. For you today. This is a very special piece of art. It's on display at the National Mall in Washington. Check it out. Most artists do theirs with palette and paint, but this man accomplishes all of his stuff with soil and sand. It seems like it's a lot of work, but he uses a 6-acre segment over at the National Mall as part of his canvas.
Wow, that's beautiful. It also seems to gaze right back at you from below. He spent the summer in Washington taking pictures of about 30 men. Then he used aspects of each face, blending them in, trying to come up with an artistic version of a composite. It's called pluribus. No, I said that wrong. Pluribusum, I guess. Out of many, one. The portrait is based on diversity. I know I probably clearly pronounced that wrong.
It is a little different. Okay, so take a look at this. Who would want to blow up a $50,000 1969 Rolls Royce?
Wow.
It's crazy.
Yeah, this photographer is known for blowing up expensive things as a statement on materialism. Maybe he needs to blow up that $250,000 phone we talked about earlier.
That's right, you know, with the gold and all the diamonds
Right.
and leather. Yeah, might not be a bad idea. That could be his next project. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? Stay with us. We're still tracking your forecast and your latest news, so stay with us. Tired of sifting through your email to figure out what's important and what is junk mail? Justin was just complaining about this. Gmail thinks it has the solution to the multitude of messages. A new app called Inbox. It sorts and turns emails into reminders and highlights important information so you don't have to read the entire message, and adds outside info it thinks is helpful. For example, all your bills would be bunched together and due dates will be highlighted. It can also snooze messages that will pop up later. The app is invite only for now. The number of airbags being recalled because of that dangerous defect continues to rise. Rita Ninan has the details in this morning's America's Money.
Good morning. Topping America's Money, the nationwide airbag recall is growing. The government now says nearly 8 million.
All right, so some stories we're looking at right now. Okay, so last minute Halloween costume idea. If you need one and you have $1 million to spare, I don't know many people really do, but this is just the thing. It's called the $1 million morph suit. Looks kind of crazy, but literally it's dripping with diamonds, about 70,000 of them. The costume is skin-tight spandex covering the entire body with jewels. How do you see?
That's crazy.
How do you see?
I don't know. The designers at Morph Costumes admit it is a bit heavy. I can imagine it's covered with diamonds, but they assure the purchaser that will be able to see. There you go. They assure you you're going to be able to see in spite of the diamond coating. An interested buyer will pay 1 million British pounds for the Morph suit. That is about $1.6 million. Are you kidding? You can keep it.
Yeah, probably something Lady Gaga would wear. Okay, so take a look at these Chinese diners experience. They experience the high life. How about that? And we're talking literally. Their dining room is hoisted 66 feet in the air by a crane, and it holds 8 people.
And is held by 4 ropes that can hold 4 tons each. It is part of a marketing scheme. You get a free meal if you view a new apartment complex.
I like it. It's a good call. I like it. I would do it. I'd be a little scared though, but it'd be kind of cool.
That meal, if I'm afraid of heights like that, that free meal better be worth $100,000.
Yeah, for sure. Oh man. All right, well stay with us. We have more on your weather and news coming up next. 6:22 and other health news. A new study indicates that sugary drinks may do more than just rot your teeth. Too much soda can create a higher risk for diabetes, heart disease, and stroke. So now add to the list 4.5 years of extra aging. Nobody wants that. Scientists at the University of California, San Francisco identified a link between daily soda consumption and shorter telomeres. Telomeres are parts of the cell that are essential to division and naturally shrink with age. But too much sugar in your diet can speed up that process. According to this study, 1 in 5 Americans drink 1 20-ounce soda every single day. Thanks, Justin. Money Watch News right now. Major airlines are raising their ticket prices. It seems to be the trend every single holiday season. Well, Rebecca Jarvis explains why so many travelers are outraged.
Just as you're getting ready to book that trip over the river and through the woods, the airlines are now hiking fares.
Happening now, several people are listed in critical condition this morning after a train wreck in northwest Arkansas. This happened on Thursday in Washington County, and police say that a freight train collided with a passenger train. 50 people were aboard those 2 trains, and 37 were able to walk away from that accident, but 5 were critically injured, including a conductor who was airlifted to a nearby hospital. Stephanie Willie was able to take these photos here of the aftermath of that wreck as crews worked to help people that were hurt.
They were all on backboards and with neck braces. Some of the patients, they were able to get out without that, but there were a lot. They were coming out on backboards and with neck braces.
According to the National Transportation Safety Board officials, the passenger train stalled for unknown reasons, causing those trains to collide head-on. There was no fire or fuel leak during that accident, but investigators will be on the scene for 5 to 7 days just to collect the documents and evidence that's involved in this. There will be a press conference to update the investigation later today. We'll keep tracking this. And Arkansans will have the opportunity to vote on a statewide alcohol sales initiative. The Supreme Court rejected a petition yesterday to have it removed from the ballot. The group challenged the deadline used to submit that petition, which fell on July 4th, and the Secretary of State's office pushed that back to the following Monday, a move the Supreme Court justices supported just yesterday. If the measure is approved, all 75 Arkansas counties will be able to sell alcohol. Education Watch preparations are underway for a new medical school over at ASU, and on Thursday, those preparations came in the form of a health summit. The Arkansas Graduate Medical Education Summit, that is. State and national healthcare leaders, along with hospital executives and doctors, they all came together to share some information. They hope to create more opportunities for students.
As we know, if they go through school for 4 years, then they have to go to residency training, and if there are opportunities for that residency training here in the area, they're more likely to practice, stay in this area and practice.
The New York Institute of Technology College plans for an additional site at ASU. The idea is for the medical school to train and educate physicians in Arkansas for Arkansas. Stay-at-home moms, after listening to this story, you may feel a little bit more important. A stay-at-home mom realized that she's not just important to her kids, but also to her husband, calling herself a luxury to him. Mars Galvacampo has more.
Yeah. I think it's part of this validation that we're looking for in ourselves of, yes, I'm doing important things even though I'm staying at home.
Babel blogger and mom of 4, Shawnee Brucey, says for years she's felt like she wasn't doing enough and often felt guilty for being a stay-at-home mom.